This statement in style right here is the IWC Pilots Top Gun Lake Tahoe edition. And I have to say, it's different. Welcome back to Time on the Wrist at Chisholm Hunter. My name is Harrison, as always, and today we have a really aesthetically appealing watch. That is going to be my new word, because it's true. The white ceramic with the steel pushers and the black dial all work in unison to make a really clean looking watch. The thing about this timepiece is it's so different. It's so on one end of the spectrum that it works. People that want to make a bold statement will want a timepiece like this. So without further ado, let's get into the specs, let's get into the movement, let's get down to the nitty gritty. The case diameter comes in at 44.5 millimeters and the case thickness comes in at 15.7 millimeters. So yes, this is a very thick watch, and because of the white case and the black dial and how that contrasts with each other, it almost seems bigger. The lug to lug, according to my digital calipers, comes in at 53 millimeters. Now it might be slightly over or slightly under based on this measurement, but that's a rough estimate. The case is made entirely from ceramic, and the pushers and also the case back are actually made from stainless steel. Now stainless steel plays wonderfully with the white. I can see this on my own Amiga Seamaster that I have at the moment with the white dial and the stainless steel. I love that combination. Another thing that I love about ceramic is how lightweight and durable it is. You will not scratch ceramic unless you properly smash it off something. You will not scratch it. So without further ado, let's get it on the scales and see how light it is. Remember, this is a really thick watch and it is a chronometer. It comes in at 138 grams. And just to compare, I've got my Amiga Seamaster 300 meters. Now, I know that it's not a comparison because they're so different. I mean, this is a chronometer, this isn't, this is a diving watch. But just to compare, because you might have seen this in the flesh before. So this comes in at 113 grams. The strap is, of course, white, and it has rubber on the underbelly and then kind of like a NATO strap feel on the top of it. It's almost like the Hamilton khaki feel that I have as one of my everyday wearers. It has that kind of textured feel to the strap on the top. And I like the fact that they've used rubber on the bottom because to me that's more comfortable. I actually have a rubber strap on my Amiga, and I tend to stick to that instead of the bracelet, so this is a good fit for me. These watches, the Lake Tahoe and of course the Woodlands that we've got to the left, were both made for the Navy Top Gun School, the legendary Navy Top Gun School. And because of this, there's a couple of features that correlate directly with the Navy, and here's a cool one. The glass is actually secured against displacement by a drop in air pressure. So when a pilot is experiencing extreme G-force, this glass will be secured. It's also sapphire crystal glass and it has anti-reflective coating on both sides. Let's dive straight into the dial and the detail of the dial. Obviously, this is a chronograph, so it has all the functions and features of a chronograph. But let's go over the aesthetics first, because the aesthetics are what draws me to this watch. Everything about this piece shouts simplicity. It shouts cleanliness to me. I mean, the dial contrasts so wonderfully because of this clean look. They've stuck to white and black, and that's it. That's all they've stuck to. And because of that, the aesthetic is really, really nice, and it's really easy to read. Here's the thing, black and white dials are the most contrasting colors that you can get, and because of that, they're so easy to read. I do tend to go for neutral colors. I go for black or white dials. Let's look at my Amiga Seamaster for an example. It's the same, apart from it's reversed. You've got the black rubber strap, the black bezel, and then the white face. And I'm really attracted to this cleanliness, this stylized approach. And that's what this is. It's getting great functionality in a stylized piece. Anyways, I digress massively. Jumping into that dial, it has a kind of matte black dial and everything else is white. I could go into detail about what else is white, but it's easier for me to just say that everything else is white. And it adds to that contrast, but what adds to the contrast even more is the lume. Wait until you see this. As you can see here, the lume is extremely bright, and at the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and also 9 o'clock is very, very prominent. Also, the hands are filled, which looks brilliant. Before we move any further, it's important to say that this IWC model is just a sample. I reckon when the new ones do come out, the lume will be even brighter, which is incredible. We're actually official stockists of IWC, and they very kindly sent us this sample. Thank you very much to IWC, and if you want to see these online, they'll be available on the Chisholm Hunter website. It's linked below. Without further ado, let's get into the functions of this chronometer, because it's mad. The day and date display are at the 3 o'clock mark, and the IWC logo is positioned comfortably above it. It has chronograph functions, so it has hours, minutes, and seconds. It has a small hacking seconds, a soft iron inner case for protection against magnetic fields, and obviously a screw-down crown. The screw-down crown ensures water resistance of 60 meters, and another little feature is that the screw-down crown is also steel, as well as the pushers. I've said this before, but that contrasts wonderfully with the ceramic white. Another little feature on the screw-down crown is it's not too prominent, and it doesn't jag into your hands when you twist it. Some crowns can be that little bit too pointy and too jagged, but this is quite nice. It's quite subtle. It's a bit more blunt. It's funny, before these watches came out, or before we got the samples, I was actually looking at other IWCs. The thing is about this watch is it's maybe not for everyone. It's maybe that little bit too bold for some people. It doesn't mean it's a bad watch. It just means it's quite a bold statement in style. But there's another watch that I've been looking at that's a little bit smaller. It's 41mm. Let me talk about it for a second because it's nice. It's the IW388101. It has the iconic blue dial that you can see on the big Pilots in the IWC range. It comes in at 41mm, which is obviously smaller than this one. And when I look at my collection as a whole, I don't have a chronograph piece yet. Would I get this? It's maybe that little bit too big for me. But that other one, at 41mm, it's looking nice. Should we review it? If you didn't notice, we actually have the woodland variant here. We did it in another video, I'll link it up here for you, but there's a couple of subtle differences when it comes to the two, and one of them is to do with the strap. This actually has a deployment clasp, whereas that one doesn't. It has just the pin buckle. I actually quite like the deployment clasp. It allows you to fit it nicely to your wrist, and it seems a little bit more sturdy. On the underbelly is the steel caseback with the Top Gun logo. That's another difference to this one and the Woodlands variant. The Woodlands variant actually has Ceratanium caseback and also Ceratanium pushers, but you can watch that video if you want to see it. Let's get on to the movement, because the movements in these IWCs are crazy. This has the IWC caliber 69380. It beats at a frequency of 28,800 VPH. It has 33 joules, and it also has 46 hours of power. This is of course also fully automatic, so that you don't need to worry about constant winding if it's on your wrist. So how do I feel about this IWC? It's bold, it's different. How do I feel about it? I think IWC have combined functionality with style, and they found that perfect in-between. Chronographs, by their nature, are something that people aspire to, and they're maybe for an older age group. I mean, I don't have a chronograph in my collection, and I think that I would love to get one, but it's just that little bit out of reach to me. So to get a chronograph that also appeals to the younger market is pretty impressive. This piece is designed to make a statement. That is its purpose. That is what it's there for. And it might not be for everyone, but if you get this watch or you were to wear this on the street, it's bound to draw some eyes. But enough of what I think. What do you think? Do you like this white ceramic Lake Tahoe version? Let me know in the comments. I love having those open, honest conversations with you, sometimes those debates, but that's what this channel is for. It's about bringing people together and talking about watches. So if you want to join the Chisholm Hunter watch community, make sure you subscribe here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.